Hi friends and welcome back to LearnVern. In the last session, we learned how to troubleshoot or debug if a product is not getting displayed on the front end. In today's session, we will learn how to work with Magento CMS. Now we will see how to customize your Magento's front end. To be successfully able to do this, you need to understand how to customize CMS pages, static blocks as well as widgets. So we will start with CMS pages first. Now to learn about CMS pages, we will see a CMS page. Now if you go to your Magento and click on privacy policy here, you will be redirected to a new page, and this is a CMS page. Now this is really a very simple page with just some text in it. So you can also create such CMS pages for your own website. These CMS pages can include any content which you like. Now let's go to the admin panel and check the CMS page. Now CMS page, all the content related to CMS can be found in the CMS menu. So let's go to CMS and click on pages. So this grid will show a list of all the available CMS pages. So as the name suggests, we will go to privacy policy. In the grid you can find a certain information like the page title, its URL key and its layout. Now I am going to teach you about layout in a few minutes. Now the URL is the unique URL or unique string which will be visible in your browser search bar. So to again check that, this is the URL which will be visible here. So you can, if your site has a lot of CMS pages, you can search a page by its title, a URL key, or the best thing to search for a CMS page in a website which has a huge number of pages is to search by date created or last modified. So let's click on this link and see how to customize it. So the CMS page option has a few tabs called page information, content, design and metadata. The page information contains all the basic information like the page title, URL and status. Now if you go on content, you will notice that the content area has the same information which is visible on the front end. There is nothing new here. Let's start by creating our own CMS page. So we'll click on add a new page. We will create a new page called electronics information. And we will add in a unique URL key. So I'm using this because we already created a category called electronics and have added a certain electronic products. So I will stick to it, and we can also add a few electronic products and link this to this CMS. Keep in mind that URL key should always be in lowercase and without any white spaces. So we'll go to content, and we don't really have any content yet, so I will just paste in some dummy text and give a heading here. And if you have noticed, this is a Wysiwyg Editor which you may have already seen at a lot of places in Magento. So editing in such an editor is really easy if you want to change some things. So I will add a spacing here, and if I want to change the color of this text or change the font family, I can change it from here, and I will just add a heading here. So maybe if you want to highlight a few links, you can just select a few words and highlight them, or you can, means editing in a Wysiwyg Editor is really simple and you can do a lot of stuff in here. Maybe if you want to add in a link, I can just select this specific word and click on a link, and I can add in a link URL and as well as the target. So using this is very much similar to Microsoft Word interface if you have used it. And there are also a few other things like you can also insert Magento variables in here. So you can add Magento variables by just clicking on this V surrounded by brackets, and it will list a number of available variables in Magento which are by default, like your store name, your email address, contact address, URL, etc. So if, for example, if I click on one of the variable, you can see this gets added like config path equals to it means generally a code gets added, means this is a way of adding custom variables into your CMS page. So custom variables are helpful when you want a single piece of information on different CMS pages. For example, phone number gets changed. You don't have to go through all the pages and change your phone number on each of them. You can just change the value of the variable from your system configuration. You can even add new variables from your system configuration. You can do this from this menu. So I'm just going to remove this for now, as we are not going to use it. And the next thing which we are going to see is design. So in this design section, you can see the first thing and only the required thing is layout. So there are 4 different layouts available in Magento: 1 column, 2 column with left bar, 2 column with right bar, and 3 column. So we will see how to change layouts in a little later part. So for now I am going to use a 1 column layout, and we are not using any custom design. So I am just going to move to metadata and paste the same text. As this is a dummy text and we don't have any meta keywords or description. If you are having any meta keywords or description for your page, you should add it in here. However, these are not required. So we'll just save our page, and the page has been saved. Now you can access this page by this URL. So I'm just going to remove the privacy policy and paste our URL here. So you have created a CMS page with a main page title, a headline, and some text in it. Now the next thing we are going to see is static blocks. And another thing about CMS is, as far as you have this URL, you can relate your CMS page from any part of your Magento website. So now we will move to static blocks. So to check about static blocks, we will go back to our admin and go to CMS Static Blocks. Now there are a number of static blocks available, like footer links, footer links company, and restriction notice. Now we will just click on one of it and see what it has. So the static block has its block title, its identifier, status, and the same Wysiwyg editor. But here it has content like about us, customer service, and privacy policy. So we already looked at this static block when we were creating a CMS page. So if you go to the front end, there is a block listed here called which has company, about us, contact us, customer service, and privacy policy. And if you go to this static block footer links company, you will see the same content listed here. So this pretty much explains how static blocks are used. Static blocks can be used as a part of CMS page. Now static blocks are very important because you can paste static blocks at any part of your page. They can be inside the CMS page, they can be in footer, or any product page or category page which you like. So let's edit the static block and see. So we will add one more static block. We will switch to a normal editor and I will add in the URL of the CMS page which we created and save the static block. We haven't changed the name yet, so now I have edited this without the Wysiwyg editor. If you found Wysiwyg editor more useful and if you want to edit it in the Wysiwyg editor, then there is another way of doing that. So I will just add a new and I will select this and add a link. And I will click on save. Let's name it to electronics information 2 and save it. And now let us refresh the page and you can see that electronics information and 2 have been added. Now if I click on this, so right now we are on the same page, so let us check by. Okay, so from home page, if I click on this link, I will be redirected to our electronic CMS page. So the reason I showed you how to edit both ways, because sometimes if you edit the information directly from the Wysiwyg editor, the HTML would be a little bit different and you can face some problems in the designing. So after adding any information from the Wysiwyg editor, if you find anything unusual, then the best thing would be to go to disable the Wysiwyg editor from here and check if the link is similar, if the same syntax is being followed. If not, you can make the changes from here and click on save. Now disabling Wysiwyg Editor is also useful when you want to add some specific classes to the HTML. So now let us create a new static block. So to create it, I will go back and click on add a new block. Now adding in content in the static block will be very similar as we added in CMS. So I will add in a block title. And I will add in the same content, the dummy content which we had. I will also add in a title. Let's turn this into a title and click on save. So let's rename the block to something which we have been using, like the electronics block. And the identifier of the static block should also always be unique and in lowercase and without any white spaces as well. So we will save the block again, and now you can see we have a new static block called electronics info block. Now we can use this reference identifier to show this block at anywhere in a Magento website. So let's display this block in the electronics category. So if I go to manage categories, go to electronics and display settings, here you can see it has a display mode products only. So let me change it to static blocks and products. It will ask me to name the CMS block. So our block will be listed here, and I am going to select this and save the category. So now if you go to our electronics category, you can see our static block is being displayed above the products. So now you know how to display static blocks in categories. So next thing which we are going to check is widgets. Through widgets you can display multiple things on CMS pages, even static blocks. So to check about widgets, let's go to our CMS page. Let's go to our CMS settings and click on widgets. So there are other ways to paste static blocks into CMS pages and other files through programming, but the fun of the Magento is it allows you to paste static blocks into CMS pages without having to look into any code. Now we will start by adding a new widget. So there aren't any by default widgets available in your Magento admin. So we'll click on add new widget instance and click on type, select a static block. So we are going to select a CMS static block and select our theme. So we are using the RWD default theme. We are using the RWD default theme currently. So select the theme and click on continue. So after pressing on continue, it is going to ask widget instance title. Now through this widget, we are going to make our static block available on all the product pages related to electronics and a few other parts as well. So this static block this widget is again going to be related to electronics. So we will add electronics, and the sort order will be 0. Sort order will be helpful when you have multiple widgets on a single page. So this will allow you to change the position of the widget. Now the important thing here is layout updates. Now we'll click on add a layout update, and it will see where we want the static block to be displayed. So this has a lot of options, and we will select all product types. This can also be on specified pages or any single type of product or even categories. So we will select all product types, and it will ask us whether it should be displayed on all the products or a specific products. So for now I am going to select all the products. So I will just click on here and all the products will be selected. So this widget will be displayed on all the current products. It is asking me is a block reference. So there are a number of block references here depending on what. So I'm going to see. I want you to play around here a little bit and check where your static block is getting displayed. So for now we are using the product view page. So I'm going to use a product view extra hint. And the next thing which it is going to ask me is to select a static block. So we will go here and select our static block which we created, the electronics info block. and we'll click on save and continue. So the widget instance has been saved. So now if you have not disabled caching, I would recommend you to go and refresh the cache first before going to the product view page. Now we will go and visit any of our product and see if the static block appears. So we will go to electronics and click on any one of the product here, and the static block has been listed here. So we have used the widget to add a static block on to specific products which we selected. Let's do something new and add in a footer link to our footer. Let's go back to our widgets. Click on add new widget instance and a CMS page link, and again select the design to be RWD default and press continue. Now add in a widget instance title and again click on add layout updates and display on all pages, and it will ask us a block reference. So we want to display in page footer and CMS page block link block template, and go to widget options, and it is going to ask you a custom text and title. So I will go and add and select a page from here. So this will have our electronics product information page, and click on save. So now we know how to add widgets to any part of our Magento website. Also notice that the settings of widget will be different depending on the theme. So if you are having a different theme, it can happen that there are some different sort of blocks available and a widget is behaving differently. So for now you can play along and how you want to display and when you want it to display. In the next session, we are going to learn polls.